Well, everyone, iOS 18 has been out for a few days now, and I wanted to kind of go and showcase my experience with it, how it's been the last few days, the battery life, some bugs I've experienced, everything like that. Now, I will tell you, I've installed iOS 18 on a bunch of different iPhones. I'm talking the iPhone 12 series, SE series, every SE that's supported, I installed it, which is only two of them. The iPhone 11s, I've installed this on basically every single iPhone, the 10R, the 10s Max, every single iPhone you can imagine, I've installed iOS 18 on. And so far, I will tell you, there are lots of bugs, but there hasn't really been anything super insane that I've experienced that has been detrimental. I want to say the first bug that I've experienced that has been kind of annoying more so than not is the App Store. For some reason, the App Store loves to just load for a long period of time. So sometimes it will load, sometimes it won't. Actually, there's been a couple of times where it didn't load at all. I don't know which iPhone it was, but I was filming a couple of videos, and I think on two different iPhones, it would just get stuck in a loading panel. That was a very annoying thing. Other than that, though, there hasn't really been anything crazy that has affected my use of my iPhone, which is really good. And for a first beta, it actually hasn't been that terrible. Now, I have not installed this on my main device, but on all my side devices, so far it's been pretty decent. Another bug that I experienced is within the control center. So the control center right now is fairly choppy, especially if you have different pages. So if you're swiping through between different pages, on something like an iPhone 13 Pro, it's actually not too bad. But on an iPhone like my iPhone 11 that I did install this on, for some reason, the pages are very slow, and as you can see, there was like some glitches here too. It could be because of the processor of the iPhone 11, or how old this iPhone is. I'm not too sure, but it's much slower than something like the 13 Pro, which is very, very interesting and much more glitchier. So that was another thing that I experienced. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but just a minor thing. I'm trying to demonstrate the App Store loading thing. You can see it does take a long time to even for it to load. But for the 11, it is an older iPhone, but it shouldn't be experiencing this much slowdown compared to something like an iPhone 13 Pro. But again, the 13 Pro is significantly faster. Another thing that I experienced for the most part as well was mostly within, I guess, the stutteringness. Sometimes when I'm going through and let's say I'm moving around an application, sometimes it can be a little glitchy. If I'm adding a widget, sometimes I notice it can be a little glitchy as well. But for the core iOS 18 features, it really hasn't been that bad. So I will tell you from a stability standpoint, not too terrible. Again, that's not me co-signing you to go and install it, but it really hasn't been that bad. Another thing that did kind of irk me a little bit is all within the Photos application. So the Photos app is being very annoying. So I'm not a fan of it. You know how like before you could go ahead and basically double tap into a photo and everything like that? As you can see right here, it's like you have to double tap into a photo in order to like it. Before I could go ahead and basically just double tap into any part of the photo to double tap it and like it, or to at least go into it. This one's a little bit annoying now. You can see as soon as I hop out, it shows me all my photos and everything. Sometimes I don't want to just see all the photos. Sometimes I just want to see the photo itself. And for me to see everything going on is a little bit, of a learning process to get used to. I feel like I will get used to it very soon, but I feel like the entire Photos app has just been redesigned in a way that makes me not really like it that much. Luckily for me, I use Google Photos most of the time, but for a lot of my photos, I use the stock Photos app, and I do feel like Apple needs to kind of improve it a little bit. Hopefully, they can bring back at least the tabs on the side. iPads on iPadOS 18 have the tabs on the side, so I'm hoping we can get it on the bottom, but that's just another thing that's kind of been bothering me. The battery life hasn't been that terrible for the most part either on a majority of my phones. It's not going to be as great as something as as iOS 17 just yet, but I do have a feeling that by the time it officially comes out, it's going to be in a much better landscape than it was before. You can see for the most part, 1 hour, 20 minutes of screen off, or 27 minutes of screen on. It's not the best battery life of all time, but I will tell you for the most part, iOS 18 hasn't been that terrible. For a first beta, it's not that bad, and I'm really excited to see how it holds up in the future. Again, there are bugs and issues all over the place, but there hasn't really been anything detrimental, and it hasn't, quote-unquote, bricked any of my iPhones. So I'm really excited to see what ends up happening in the future with this particular update. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video.